Greetings, nerds, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Reroll Podcast, a podcast by gamers, for gamers, brought to you in part by Manifest Destiny. When your destiny is divine, you'll be saying that land is mine. I'm your illustrious host, Victor Lynn Deuce Logan II, aka Kill Moves, aka Papa Black. I'm joined by my co-host, Michael Winday. It's a long day.
Hey, hello, me one name here.
Jeff Liu.
Howdy.
And the famous Miles Clark.
So, what business plans and benefits do I get from this?
You get less of a vote.
You get all the stuff that you want, but it's about
That's
as
what you
worthless.
get.
It's just pretty much worthless.
Vote. What?
Yeah.
I'm like,
What's
okay,
going on?
there's gotta be something else here.
Yeah.
You get stock options.
Mm.
They're just about as useful as toilet paper.
Oh my god. Anyway, games have happened. We've played games. Let's talk about games. Also, this is what, third podcast in a row that's on time? Like,
Yeah.
good.
Oh man, we finally had a time. Wait until we never show up again.
Yeah, this is like the last podcast forever.
This
Actually.
we all
Almost
just did
factually.
Oh yeah.
And the last podcast, part 2.
All right, let's get into it. Let's talk about what Mike's been playing. What you been up to, Mike?
What have I been up to? Let's see here. Well, I've been playing a little bit of Stardew Valley. 1.4 dropped about a week or two ago.
Mm.
And that was the big update that because for a long time we weren't going to get another update with the game, and everyone was kind of fine with that. But the dev came back and he's like, you know what? There's more that I want to do with the game, and so he put out this big patch. At the same time, he's got more people on board because he's now fully indie, and he's developing another game in similar universe. But I'm really happy, as well as a lot of the fans are really happy to see the game still getting support after all these years. And again, free content patch.
Yeah. That's pretty good. So, what's in it? What does it do? What's in it?
All right, so there's relationships have been expanded quite a bit. There's more scenarios and stuff like that with different villagers, with different NPCs and stuff. A lot more stuff to collect. More options for end game and post end game. I think that there's more like things to grow and more ways to make money. As well as a lot more options for multiplayer as well.
Oh, really?
Including a new map type, which is nice.
A new game type, you said?
Map type, yeah. Because when you spawn your map, you choose like, oh, I want a regular farm, or oh, I want it to have water. Well, now you can choose 4 corners where you can basically have set up 4 houses. That way you can have a 4-player game, and everyone has kind of their own designated space.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
Huh. All right. What else have you been playing?
Let's see here. After that, it would probably be Remnant. I've been playing Remnant with you and Jeff quite a bit this
game's
week.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm really getting into it. It's funny because when I first got into it, I thought there was a lot more Dark Souls. Definitely like how a lot of the systems work, but it kind of like playing it reminds me a lot more actually of Diablo than anything else.
Yeah, I get hardcore Diablo and RE4 vibes, surprisingly. Like RE5, Resident Evil. I think the I guess the gunplay instead of gameplay feels like RE. I mean, like just the idea of like how the guns work, I guess. I don't know, Jeff, what do you think about the game?
No, I think it's quite enjoyable. I mean, I've been able to play it as much as I've been a bit busy of late, but definitely they've integrated the co-op into it a lot better than how Dark Souls does theirs, where it's kind of a little bit more awkward to get people in. But yeah, it's not necessarily going to have that kind of like brutal realism, but you get a lot of the well, not realism, but you know what I mean, like the dark fantasy type. But you're getting a lot more of this kind of like post-apocalyptic world where you and a couple of friends are surviving and trying to get stuff done so you can accomplish your goal. The mechanics, similar to how they kind of take away from like the bonfires and the Estus, kind of give you that kind of the feeling of some of the mechanics. But all in all, you just kind of get at this. Like, you don't really need to directly compare it to a Souls game. It just has some nice elements from it. All in all, it's just a fun little co-op post-apocalyptic shooter you can play with your friends.
Yeah. I hope whenever they make a sequel or something, they do it way bigger with more armor types, more guns, because one issue I do have is that, like, cosmetically, this game's kind of limited because it's a smaller scale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think there's only like 10 or 12 armor sets. I forget how many. But yeah, Mike, there's not that many armor sets, right? Was it just a couple of them?
there's not too many available. I forget how many.
Yeah, it's not that many. But still, I do like the idea of one of those games when you get like a weapon and the goal is more to like, okay, you like how this weapon works, you could upgrade it and keep it going, as opposed to like, okay, get a bunch of different weapons that play similarly, but like they're not that different. You know what I mean? Like I like the idea of like this weapon is its own kind of class. I like So
it defines how you play a lot more than just like a different weapon type.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's not like to go back to the Diablo example. Like a sword, you have a sword, but maybe a slightly better sword drops on the ground and you swap it out.
Yeah.
This is a lot more. I guess it is a Dark Souls style in that way, where your weapon kind of has its own personality, and you're not gonna.
Whereas,
you're
like kind of like something like say Borderlands, where you can pick up a gun, kill an enemy, and then a slightly stronger version of the same gun can appear, or a slightly version of a different gun will appear, and you just have like 3 different sniper rifles because they play slightly different from each other.
Can we talk about Borderlands 3 real quick? I got really tired of that game really fast. I was so into it when I first beat it, but I don't know.
It's more
I didn't even get it yet.
Yeah.
Like, it is just more Borderlands, so it is one of those like if you're just really into the Borderlands genre and you just want to keep doing it, and you keep playing it for a lot, then yeah, it'll be fine. But if you're expecting a lot more from it, you're not really going to get that much more from it.
Yeah, there isn't more. I like some of the things they were trying to do, but it felt like a 360 game with like the ideas and mechanics. It didn't feel like, and they took a lot of new stuff from newer games.
Yeah, I was gonna say they didn't really go
sliding.
They didn't go too far with the formula. They just added 1 or 2 small gimmicks. Technically removed some other gimmicks.
Yeah.
Like removing the jump pads, but keeping the slam was the dumbest thing because you can barely slam anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
What's the point? And they don't even let you do it for half the time because there's not really many things that require it. So, yeah, it's one of those weird, like they did, 1 step forward, but 1 step back, like it's still roughly where it is.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's not going too far back, but it's effectively still mostly the same game.
Yeah, it's not too different.
But yeah, seeing something that's effectively like Remnant, where it's like pulling from other like game inspirations, but it gives you get more from less effectively because of the fact that it lets you kind of have your equipment retain its strength and value. Because you can upgrade it to, have better parity with what you're doing.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, Miles? What have you been playing?
Besides the usual.
Pokemon, right?
Oh yeah. It has been 2 weeks since then. So Sword and Shield came out. Actually, I like Sword and Shield a lot, honestly. It's like,
really?
Yeah, it's like my favorite Pokemon game. I mean, but the thing is, I'm very easy to please. So give me 1 second. Okay, my mixers mess up sometimes, but like I'm very easy to please. Where like if something's interesting, I have a little like hook in some way, I'll probably like it. Like with Pokemon, big thing for me is I just like the story of the games. Even if the stories are cheesy, it's a Pokemon story. I don't expect much. I just want to see a story that progresses with characters that I'm actually inclined to like. This game does that in spades and actually builds on characters way more than other Pokemon games. I always love the music in Pokemon games. Like one of the first things I always look forward to, and this game delivers so many ways. Yeah. So I was telling Chris at that party, it was like one of the coolest things is so for the gym battles, I'll just do that and let the rest be a surprise because it happens fast enough in case someone wants to play it. The gym battles have a set theme. Then as it gets going, when they lose like 1 or 2 Pokemon, then you wouldn't call it a rhythm or something. Something kicks in behind like the already set theme and it's playing with it. And then when they send out their final Pokemon, the music like cuts. It might like hard cuts, but it switches. It plays it and builds up. And like if you just let it play out, instead of skipping, when they send out their Pokemon, the audience comes in and starts singing that second part.
Well, that's so cool.
They really play it up that you're in a stadium, and it's so sick. I love it. And they do that with some other songs throughout the game. And like I love it.
That's dope. I was actually getting annoyed at how much people were complaining about Pokemon. I mean, like, what do you expect? Like, I don't know. Like, what are some points that people were complaining about that you think are true?
I can understand people's upset of like, well, this Pokemon game doesn't have all the Pokemon in it. But for me, as someone like I said,
tall order.
I just I get that eventually how are you gonna put like 2,000 characters in a game?
Yeah, I think that's just almost impossible. I mean, like that's a lot. You know?
Honestly,
Pokemon Ultimate.
I was surprised they haven't been cutting characters all the way up till now. Like, I'm surprised every
they're
time
not
they put
just-
them all in.
If they were just sprites, I'd say okay, but they're 3D model.
Even the sprites, like black and white spriting, was like intensive. Because
Yeah.
every sprite has multiple frames of animation where they move, and you have to do that for every single Pokemon you've ever created.
Now, I am annoyed at how some animations are just kind of bad.
Yeah, that's also... So some art, like Double Kick, is not animated. It never has been animated. They probably could have done something. They should have. It's a little silly. But then there's stuff like... Okay, I don't think you've seen this. Let me try and find it. Like Cinderace, he's one of the final versions of the starters. Like his ability Pyro Ball is one of the best animated things I have seen in Pokemon, period.
Really?
And that's his signature ability.
Huh.
Hold on, get this thing for you.
Cinderace, isn't it? It's called.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
All right, I dropped it in the chat.
Oh, that's what he looks like. That's so cool. Well, that's dope.
Yeah, he's a soccer player, and like his signature move is him literally like he takes a pebble and then converts into a ball of fire and juggles it and then kicks it. And it's like,
Holy shit.
but Pokemon was not doing this before.
No, absolutely not.
So people are just take like the smallest instances, like Double Kick, or like, hey, like someone tried to lie and like, oh, there's no background images throughout the entire game. Literally, there's like when you're in a gym, not at the end of the gym, but in between fights in gyms and in like hotels, they just have like this little mist thing instead of building in the background. But almost every other place in the game, there's a full 3D like background area. Camera pans around and stuff. Like people just wanted the game to be bad.
I was gonna say that seems like they're just cherry picking for outrage.
Yeah, people just want to be upset because they're missing Pokemon. So for any reason they can find,
that's the
they're gonna
other
try
way.
and get upset.
Yeah, that's just annoying. They should complain. But it looks like a good game besides that. I mean, like...
It's
I don't
fun.
know.
I mean, it took me like 25 hours to beat it. Some people are like, it's the shortest of the Pokemon game. So, okay, one dude listed like red and blue takes 70 hours to beat the first time. Like, get off. No. Like, come on.
Who the heck is taking that long to beat that game?
The game would only take that long because you don't understand. If you play Pokemon all the time, like, I'm playing this game, I know what's weak to what. I know all the mon's
Did he say
typings.
70 hours?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
That's not even like a good thing. Yeah, it's not even a good thing.
Yeah. Like, half the reason the old games take longer is because they're tedious.
Yeah,
And you have to do very specific things.
Well,
Do you-
even then, I would suggest looking at Summoning Soul on YouTube because you'll see. I mean, there are speed runs there, but even the earliest ones, which usually don't have any like hacks or anything like that, is just someone playing the game. And yeah, no, you can beat those games within like a couple hours playing normally.
Yeah, they're not hard. The thing is, like, back then, you don't know... I don't know that this dragon type resists all my starters, you know? I needed, like, an ice type or something.
Maybe it takes you 70 hours if you're like 5 years old and you know don't
Yeah,
know what
like-
to do and you just keep fighting things in the same area because you don't move out of it.
Yeah, well,
I know I was a stupid kid doing stuff like that.
No. You want to know what the fucking epitome of being a stupid kid at Pokemon? So
what?
when I was a lot younger and we finally fucking beat, and I think I played Gold back in the day. By the way, got the hands down. I will still say to this day the absolute best deal on Pokemon Gold in my life.
What is the deal? You keep setting yourself up.
What's the
Yeah, I'd
deal?
say anything,
I
yeah.
bought Pokemon Gold off of a classmate of mine in the second grade for $2.
What?
Oh.
You got that last
I
time?
paid that in quarters.
I'm
I
pretty
will
sure
not-
you showed the story the last time.
I will never stop telling this story because who gets Pokemon Gold for $2?
You do. That's two.
Yeah.
It's like, with me and when I finally got a Sega Genesis, I bought it from Jay Lynn, sold me her Sega Genesis, 2 controllers, and all her games for $5.
That's ridiculous. That
That's
should
an
be
even
illegal.
better deal.
Because she just didn't know it was worth it. Later, she's like, "Oh, I sold it to you pretty cheap, didn't I? Yeah, can I get that back?" No,
Absolutely
No.
not.
that is
It
bullshit.
doesn't belong to you anymore.
Well, okay. So Miles, what do you think about XP sharing? Like, are you against that or for that?
Okay, so it's weird, right? Because like, do you need it? No. I was okay. So I played through the game. I didn't like. I went to the wild area. I was there for like an hour. Besides, I was focusing on the story, and yeah, I was ahead of levels. Then when I got to the champion, he outleveled me. And like this, the post game stuff out-leveled me. So like,
so they balance it around you having.
And they also I say it this way. They made a bunch of Magic Carp Pokemon. So Pokemon that are in your party, they don't learn shit, and they cannot attack until they evolve.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And like two of the ones I wanted to use, both of them were like that. It's like without EXP share, it would have been a pain in my ass to level those Pokemon.
Oh man. Yeah, can you turn that off if you want to?
No. Not normally you can, not in this game. This game is forced on.
Okay, that's good. So they're balancing around it, though. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I always appreciated that mechanic rather than just the old, because the old ways were just really annoying. Where it's just okay, you put the one you want to evolve out, and then you hot swap it out to the one that's
switch to someone else, take a hit, just so you get experience on them.
Yeah, it was just tedious because they knew you were going to do it anyway. So what's the point of making everyone just do an extra tedious task?
There's a bunch of quality of life stuff that people wanted to complain about because like, oh, the game's too easy. Pokemon's never been hard.
It's not like it's Shin Megami Tensei. It's Pokemon.
It's like Pokemon's just a fun little game you fucking play around with. You don't just like go around expecting like this hardcore, intense RPG.
Yeah.
Like that's not what Pokemon is about. It's supposed to be a fun kids game.
Yeah.
And also, the grind is usually not the fun part of the games. I mean, I get that some games have grind,
but
no one's like, oh man, I can't wait to grind for 20 hours and get maybe a level or two.
Like, do you guys know what it used to take
to
build competitive teams in Pokemon?
A long time.
Okay. Let me just break down how silly this used to be, right?
Maybe a day or two,
if you're lucky. So you had to get go through the breeding part's kind of fun because like you're picking abilities you want and carry them forward. You gotta look that up. Game doesn't tell you obviously. So you have to breed over abilities that you want. Okay, so that takes a bit. Then you have to get a Ditto, normally a Ditto, or two of the same Pokemon. Every Pokemon has a hidden stat on them that before you couldn't really see. You had to go talk to some random NPC, but in this game, after the post game, you can just do Battle Tower for a bit, and then you can just see it. Like they'll just tell you on every Pokemon. So like, you either get these hidden stats, and you have to get normally like a Ditto that has 4 or 5 of those hidden stats, and then another Pokemon, and you keep breeding eggs, and you check their stats to see if the stats are high enough for what you want, and you keep doing that. Then you have to hope that they got the ability you want and the nature you want with the stats you want. So that could take however long that takes. Then you had to take that Pokemon and go find Pokemon, because every Pokemon has a little effort value, EV, that when you beat them, that's what they give you. So you had to find Pokemon out in the wild that had the effort values you want and farm them. There's no way to check this, by the way. You just have to keep track. And like, this has been in every single Pokemon game. You either do this for every single Pokemon that you wanted to use on a team. And if you battle any Pokemon besides one of the ones you want the right points on, you have to start over because you can't fix it.
What?
Yeah. And now, guess what you do in this game?
What?
There's stuff that they always had these in all the games. You could just buy these little like vitamins and just feed them to your Pokemon. But there was a cap. This game got rid of the cap. So literally, you get a Pokemon, you still have to do the IV part yourself. But then you just buy the vitamins, feed them to the Pokemon. It's like 26 to max out a stat. Max out the 2 stats you want, 10 in another stat, you're done. That's it.
So that's good then.
Yeah. Actually making competitive teams is way easier.
Just say they just got rid of all the tedium and pointless bit to it and then just let it you just get directly to what you want to do.
It's not like it, because like people hacked in Mons because it takes so damn long to make a competitive team in games. So people just hack them in. So they try to cut down on that by making it simpler. Like,
do you think like a Pokemon Stadium-esque system would be better for competitive games?
I mean, there's other problem with competitive Pokemon. Like the chances that you miss, the chances you get burned, frozen, or paralyzed. Like,
it sounds very gimmicky and like, eh.
Yeah, because like,
it sounds like the parts of Smash Brothers I don't like.
Yeah, but that's the whole game. Because sometimes you just gotta, like, some moves are so good that you just gotta use it, and it's like, well, this move might miss. If it misses on 90% accuracy, well, you might lose. But it is that good.
It's not stupid. It's just not,
it's like RPG elements, but in competitive setting, you're just kind of.
Yeah, it's okay for the single player story mode, but it's not okay for competitive gameplay.
Yeah. And then there's crits too, obviously. So sometimes you can just get crit and die.
Yeah, I feel more okay with crits than missing for some reason.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, because the thing about crits are like it's a hit that hits more. Missing is you just don't get a hit at all, and it doesn't feel fun.
So it's just unfair. But anyway, let's move on to what Jeff's been playing. What are you playing, Jeff?
Very recently, aside from Remnant, which yes has been a fun experience with both of you guys, I've been playing. Well, for starters, the new StarCraft co-op commander, because I do actually play the co-op mode in StarCraft. And two, for some bizarre reason, in fact, for all we know, I could be playing it right now. I've been going back and playing Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 again. A little blast from my own nostalgia, effectively, but I quite enjoy the little game, especially because I've been watching a series of videos about like how to actually bother like improving the park and explaining mechanics, and I'm like, I actually know more about how to play properly now. And it's actually it like helps, like getting a new perspective on an existing game you enjoy just makes you go back and want to play it again.
Yeah,
like discovering like new things that you could have done with your because you just like, oh, I could have done this, or oh, this would have been better if I had done that. Now I could just go and do that. If there's one thing I appreciate about like the new our new like digital like formatted world of gaming is that I can just go back and play games that I get reminded of or miss now. I don't have to like hope I have the CD still lying around in some dusty old bin that isn't scratched to hell and I still have the fucking CD key for. So
now, is that the latest one? Like, why that one specifically? Why not like a newer version?
Well, for starters, this isn't necessarily new. So this is the modded version, OpenRCT 2, which is effectively a bit of kind of a remix between the original and Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. And for me, the reason why I play this also is because Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 was a game that I like legitimately bought a copy of back in my old childhood. Like I legit bought the copy and played this. And back in the old days, my PC gaming experience was not very rich because my computer didn't have a graphics card. That didn't help very well. But Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 would run. So it was Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 and Age of Empires 1 Gold. And that was all I could play on my little dinky, crappy HP, like consumer grade computer. So yeah, I have a lot of memories of this, and after seeing a few like interesting strategy guides for it, I've been getting back into it again.
Okay, cool. Well, let's move on. I think we should go on to the news. I mean, I already talked about what I played pretty much. It's just been Remnant. I played Party Hard for a little bit too, but mostly just Remnant. Oh, and Nino Kuni too, which is also really good. But we should move on to the news. Who wants to take the first news item? Who wants to tackle that? Miles, is it you? Go ahead.
All right, so the Keeley Show is coming back. The Game Awards are coming back. The Game Awards are coming back. And so, of course, we got to go through all the recommendations. I'm trying to find a good place to start. I'm probably going to go up because starting with Game of the Show is lame.
Oh, yeah. So best narrative or which one? Oh, then go all the way down.
Yeah, I'm right above.
Esports. There's a lot of esports.
Esports host, and we're going
can I just say that the content creator of the year? I don't know any of those guys.
Oh my god! But let's start with things we know about.
Esports host is fine. We'll go up.
Do you know them?
Yeah.
I don't really watch esports myself, so I'll let you take the reins.
I do, but so Socks, Machine, Red Eye, Golden Boy, Candace. Most of these are Valve based. Machine, Red Eye, Golden Boy. Actually, Golden Boy also does TV show now, I think, as well. I would say Red Eye or Machine,
Okay.
But I'm biased because Red Eye does Dota stuff.
You're hella biased. That's okay.
There's clearly no bias for Dota. Clearly.
I mean, like that's how award shows are, though. Like, as you vote what you know.
Yep.
I mean, to be honest with you, this is an award show, so you're supposed to have bias, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're supposed to be like, I like this one more because I like the game more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound fair, but who cares about fair? They're losers.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's out of our selection which one's the best, and you obviously care enough about our opinion to watch this. So,
all right. What about coaches? Miles, do you have any opinion?
So Arden, who does Team Liquid, CS:GO, Kane, Team Liquid League of Legends, Grabs, Team G2 Esports.
Is your
League of
favorite
Legends,
Merlo,
Kakuma.
Saksha? Do you like Saksha?
Yeah, I was gonna say Saksha. OG Dota 2, my favorite Dota 2 team. So,
Oh my god.
and then
Best
Sonic.
esports event.
Okay, so this one's a little more interesting. Oh, I didn't even know that. Okay, so I'll go through it. 2019 Overwatch League Grand Finals. Evo 2019. Did not expect that. Fortnite World Cup. I am
What's
Catalyst
that for?
2019. I am should be CS:GO. Pretty sure.
Okay.
League of Legends World Championships 2019. International 2019. I say TI. Evo is cool, but nothing really drastic happened this Evo.
Oh, I would say that Evo. I don't know. I don't know too much about the events, but I would assume Evo because Evo has a lot more attention on it from a lot more fan bases.
No,
that's how I look at it.
You got to see that the entire FGC is smaller than all these other games.
Yeah. Well, okay, that's why I think I like Evo the most because isn't that more ran by the people who play the games as opposed to the company that owns the game?
I mean, yes, but like nothing happened. Like if it was a different Evo, yes, nothing happened this Evo.
What do you mean nothing happened?
No big upset happened. Like the people who were supposed to win. Okay, wait. I'm wrong. Arslan Ash. Okay, that's the only big upset for Tekken 7. The Pakistani player won, which is like all the Korean players were there. Like that's a big upset. That's like the only big upset of Evo.
Okay, so you're not judging it as an event. You're judging it as in like
what happened. It's gonna be the best event. Like,
okay, so
what happened at this event?
I see, because otherwise you would take out the years and you would just put the whole idea. Okay. Yeah, I didn't watch Evo this year at all, so I couldn't tell you.
For me, it's biased again. Like Evo's up there for me, but I would say TI.
International, it's a good thing. It's a good. I know as a regular program, it's great.
But it's also the fact that this is the year that OG, which they're on Best Esports team, they better be. OG is the first team to win the international twice, and they won it twice in a row.
Where are they from?
They're just a different bunch of EU places. I follow them because like No Tail was like I've been following No Tail, Fly, Hani, Trixie era. That was the old Fnatic MSI team from Han. I've been following that team. Then they came over as Fnatic MSI into Dota 2. Then Hani Trixie era, or Hani and Trixie kind of stopped playing. Era something happened with Era. He couldn't play for a bit, and that's how the team kind of fell apart eventually. But Fly and No Tail played together they stuck together. They were on Team Secret. Then Fly ended up, Fly stayed on Secret for a bit. No Tail went to Cloud9. Then they came together to make OG, and I was so happy to see them playing together again. And then eventually Fly and like S4 left the original OG and joined EG. And then there was a battle between EG and OG at the International. And like when OG won, that was last year. When OG won, like, because you had to realize right before this tournament they lost 2 of their major players. But they won that, and then they eventually won the whole thing. And like when Fly and No Tail shook hands, the look No Tail gave him was that hurt, because it's like I like both these players, and see the teams face off like that.
I mean, that's a good match then.
It is. But yeah, so I'm biased. So I'd say.
All right, let's move on to the best team. I'm guessing yours is OG.
Yes, but it's Astralis CS:GO. So for Astralis, they've been like the best CS:GO team for like a year, if not more, and they've won the most majors. G2 Esports. G2 actually almost won Worlds, which is kind of ridiculous. Like, the Worlds has always been won by like Asian teams. They got second, so I think that might have been one of the highest. I don't follow League that much; I just know the storyline. But I think that might have been one of the highest placing Western placings in League Worlds ever. OG obviously won TI, like I said. San Francisco Shock just won Overwatch League. I don't really follow Overwatch League at all. And Team Liquid CS:GO. Team Liquid have come on really strong. They like fell off a bit, but they're getting better again. But they are like potentially one of the best teams in the world, and they're an NA team.
Okay. All right. Best esports player is yours. Which one?
Yeah, there's no Dota one here.
Yeah, so I couldn't find Dota. No,
they did it to you.
So Booga is a 14-year-old player who won the Fortnite World Cup, so he won a lot of money. That's all I know about him. Faker is one of the most decorated esports players in League of Legends. Don't know perks really, but League of Legends. Simple has been the best CS:GO player, but he's never won any majors because he was on Na'Vi, and like that team just wasn't like he was carrying the team like every game. So like he's really good. I remember last year he was upset because he lost this award to Sonic Fox.
Sonic Fox definitely deserved it.
Yeah, like Sonic Fox is the best at so many different games. Yeah, all FGC games, but they're all way different. It's like if Simple was best at CS:GO and Halo, or something like that.
You don't gotta. Yeah, I understand FGC stuff. That's the field I do know about. Best esports game. I think for me it would be between Dota and Overwatch. I think Fortnite for me isn't really fun to watch. I like watching Dota more than League, and Counter-Strike is fun to watch.
I think League's gonna win, or Fortnite.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Overwatch definitely not gonna win. That's just one of my choices.
Yeah, CS:GO, Dota, Fortnite, League of Legends, Overwatch. Overwatch, League, Fortnite all have popularity. I would obviously say Dota, these ones, but
I don't think Dota will win.
I think it's gonna be League or Fortnite, honestly. Probably League, because Riot did a pretty big push showing off a bunch of stuff.
Is it Fortnite? Is this Fortnite's first year of being a big esports thing, or did it do it last year too?
Yeah, it's first year. It was the first time they'd done a big event with a lot of money on the line. So yeah, technically it's their first year. Yeah,
they'll probably win it. They probably deserve that. Content creator of the year. I've heard a lot about Shroud. I forget what he does, but I hear his name all the time.
So Kurz, Lupo, Ewok, Griff, and Shroud. All of these, I don't know Ewok. Ewok is the only female one, so she might win. I'm pretty sure she's female, so she might win.
Because she's a girl?
I mean, I don't know.
You think that's how it works?
I literally don't know them well enough, but I'm just saying. But all the rest that I don't know, Griff, or how the hell do you say his name? But Shroud is, like, all the rest of them are shooting game players. So,
yeah.
But, like, that's been really big now. So, yeah, I don't know besides that.
All right, now we can move into something everyone can talk about. Fresh indie game presented by Subway. This is a tough decision. These are all great. I don't know, Michael. What's your pick? If you had to pick one.
Let's see here.
You gotta read them out.
In all honesty. Oh,
go ahead, Ron.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll read off the list.
Or Michael,
it is All right, so the picks are Disco Elysium, Gris, My Friend Pedro, Outer Wilds, Slay the Spire, and Untitled Goose Game.
Is it Gris or Grease?
I thought that was Gris because that's gray, right?
Well, you pronounce it Gris, right?
I don't know.
Man.
I don't speak that language. I don't know which one it is even.
It doesn't matter. I didn't play the game.
Yeah, neither have I. Actually, I did take a look. It was released last year anyway, so.
Okay.
Yay! But I would, out of these, I would probably choose Outer Wilds, but I think Untitled Goose Game's gonna win it.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna win.
I think Goose Game.
I mean, whenever you have the internet available to it, there's certain things that are just.
There's just so many gifs of just a goose being an asshole.
Never doubt the meme pick. Never doubt it.
I don't know, dog. Slay the Spire and My Friend Pedro are both awesome games, but My Friend Pedro is definitely not going to win. But I love that game to death.
I mean, personally, I enjoy Slay the Spire as like a person that got the most enjoyment. But yeah, Untitled Goose Game is definitely going to get a lot of the attention there.
I think Slay the Spire is a better game, though.
Yeah, it's just more established. It's got better counts and mechanics. You can also play it for a lot longer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like,
but unfortunately, these are popularity contests. It doesn't matter who's better.
Yeah.
Never forget. Last year, Monster Hunter World won MMO of the Year. Monster Hunter.
That's a slap in the face to all of us.
Oh, it is it's a good game, but MMO.
It's inspired ideas, but it's not an MMO.
Like, just because it's multiplayer doesn't mean that it's an MMO.
Yeah.
Like, massive means something. That first M has a meaning.
Yeah. Disco Elysium seems like a great game, but it doesn't have the buzz the other games. I mean, it's popular as hell, but
yeah, it's very well received, but it doesn't have as many people. Yeah,
you can't play it on. Yeah, it's just for PC. You can't play it on anything else. Okay. Best multiplayer game. What do you guys think? We got Apex Legends, Borderlands 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Tetris 99, and The Division 2.
Absolutely, Division 2.
Yeah, no.
I think Call of Duty.
You think that's gonna win?
I think it might be Borderlands. It really depends upon how.
Really, I think Tetris
how Activision savvy the voters are gonna be.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of people that aren't happy with a lot of Activision's moves in general.
Yeah, but here's the thing: people will oftentimes just think, "Oh, I don't like Blizzard," forgetting that they're connected. So
Yeah.
I feel like I get what you're saying, but I feel like a lot of people are just gonna be like, "Oh, it's Activision though," and just do it anyway.
Well, this isn't a public vote, right? Is it a panel of judges, or is this a public vote?
I forget if the public plays into it by how much.
I think there's a
They
panel of judges.
No. There's a vote. I remember because people were talking about like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna vote for one of the games in best fighting game just to be a meme."
Oh, you can vote?
Yeah, there's a vote.
Oh, then I guess so. Oh, then you can take that into account. Okay. I think. I don't know, man. I think Tetris 99 might win it.
I mean, I don't know. I don't see
You don't
I
that
would be surprised.
over
I would
Call
lo-
of
I would
Duty.
love to
I
see
don't
it.
see that.
Well, Tetris 99 is such a new, unique thing. It's
Yeah, but it's a new
interesting
thing
niche.
that you can't play unless you have a subscription on,
But I was gonna say
on
it's
the Switch.
interesting. It's
Yeah,
an interesting
again.
niche, but the problem is it's niche.
Yeah. Wait, you can't play COD without a subscription either, though, unless you're playing on PC.
I do think that we're
God,
gonna.
people buy subscriptions
Okay,
for,
but
though.
like my thing is
you're
like I can still just buy Call of Duty and just play it. Yeah, you're not wrong that you gotta pay for the thing, but I'm saying like you can't play Tetris period unless you have the Nintendo Online thing.
Yeah, I guess.
That some people might end up going towards Apex. I'm not too sure. It's not going to be the Division. 2,
Apex
for sure.
is on too much of a downtrend now. I don't even know
think
why
so?
it's on here. Yeah,
It's not
why do you think
necessarily
so?
negative. It's just not popular.
yeah, it's not
Yeah,
popular
it's-
anymore. Like Apex hit the ground running, and they basically it seemed like they didn't do anything. So now
I was
it's
gonna say,
like
they ran out of follow through.
yeah.
Oh, you mean player population instead of not? You're not talking about the game itself. You mean
No. I think Apex is still a good game. I'm just saying, like,
Okay.
I don't think people are talking about it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see
Okay.
that.
I still think Borderlands can win it because
I mean, if
like
you-
I know people are being negative with it, but there's content being released for it now.
True,
There's a lot
true.
of bug, and it's a recent game. To me, I see a lot of
you're
like
right.
a recent release is going to be a lot more vivid in someone's memory than an
You're
older
absolutely
release.
right. You're
You know?
absolutely
yeah, it
right.
doesn't have that going. And also, Modern Warfare is also like again that is another recent release as well.
Yeah.
But the Division
Okay.
2, I just laugh at every time I look at it on this.
Mm,
That, like, out of all of them getting it, I don't think it's going to be that one unless Ubisoft
No.
is giving them like $1 million checks or something.
I think my vote would be probably for Apex or Tetris. That's my vote. Had to pick one. All right, let's move to the next one. Best sports/racing game. Oh, I don't play any of these, but we got
Yeah,
Crash
no,
Team
I know.
Racing, Dirt Rally, Evolution Pro, fucking F1. Let's just go on. Who gives a shit?
Yeah,
Oh, wait,
I was
hold
gonna
on,
say, like,
I want to point out real quick that Crash Team Racing, all the rest of these are very serious games with actual cars and actual people. Crash Team Racing.
you know what?
Yeah,
Crash
no.
Team,
I gotta say,
It's
I'm
right
upset. Why is Team
and
Sonic
you know
Racing
what?
not
I
on
think
this
it'll
list?
win.
Oh, you got a point, Miles.
Why
Yeah,
is Team
point.
Sonic? Now, I know why, but why is it on this list?
Yeah, it should. Is it not up to snuff compared to those games?
I mean, I like it, but like,
Oh, you also
Didn't
it
have a
doesn't
lot of
it didn't
fanfare.
have the same amount of hype that Crash
yeah,
Team
pretty
Racing.
much.
Yeah,
CTR had a
yeah.
way more.
Even when it came out, Sonic had no fanfare.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. I liked it though. I still like it. I
Yeah.
race sometime soon.
Okay. Best strategy game: Age of Wonders, Anno 1800, Fire Emblem, Total War, Tropico, War Groove. Fire Emblem's gonna win.
I want Fire Emblem.
I'll be honest with you. I think Tropico's the only thing they'll give it a run for its money. I really like Wargroove personally.
I was gonna say,
Great.
I don't know whether or not people are going to go for like the more indie vote if they're going to go with something like Wargroove.
War Groove and Fire Emblem are like the same game.
But you also have to remember that as far as YouTube and stuff like that goes, there's been like Tropico has been pushing a lot more YouTubers and stuff like that to do things. You have RT, you have Spiff, you have a bunch of other ones that are making content for Tropico, and you have a lot more people that are going to watch that. I don't know anyone who's doing playthroughs of Fire Emblem. I'm sure that there's people
I mean,
out
'cause they already did it. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
that game
and-
came out
yeah.
a while ago.
I'm good.
The thing is that Tropico is also a more recent release, so
Best.
I don't know if that's gonna top Fire Emblem because Fire Emblem has a giant fan
Yeah, Fire
base.
Emblem's gonna
So
win.
like,
I think this is a shoe-in for Fire Emblem. Best family game: Luigi's Mansion 3, Ring Fit Adventure, Mario Maker 2. This is all Nintendo.
it's
games.
all actually all
yeah,
Nintendo.
all Nintendo.
Actually, all
For
Nintendo.
Man,
I noticed that early on. I was like, oh man, I can't wait to make the.
You said like
the
3,
best
and it's like, wait a
game
minute,
show.
those are
Yeah,
all
I saw
Nintendo. Wait a minute, I
Best
have to look at
Family
these.
Like I saw Best Family Game, and I'm like, okay, which Nintendo game is it going to be? Looking through the list, oh god, they actually are all just Nintendo
yeah.
games. I meant to be facetious, but it's the truth.
I didn't realize Smash Brothers has only been out for a year.
Yeah, it came out December 14th.
Yeah, that's
Literally
crazy.
the day of Game Awards last year, it dropped.
Ah, that's funny.
I remember I was in line for my midnight release when they announced Joker.
Oh, you were in line. I was sitting on my couch with the download.
I thought I wasn't going to get this until I managed to just spontaneously have it up for a Switch, and I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'm getting it.
Yeah,
Well,
I think Smash Bros. is going to win.
Smash Brothers, like out of all of these,
Of these, Mario Maker 2 would be probably the closest.
Mario Maker 2 would be close. I just like Ring Fit. It's just a weird, interesting niche thing, but it's not really a big family game. It's just more of
I don't really see that either.
Yeah, Smash is just more.
It's like the
popular
Wii
than all
Fit
these
board,
things.
in the sense of like it's an interesting idea, but it's not going to be like the thing that just takes everything by storm. Not like Smash. Smash is just
Like Pokemon's too
Smash.
recent, but Sword and Shield would definitely next year. Sword and Shield's definitely winning this.
For family game, you think?
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be best RPG? I guess it could be multiple things.
they can you're gonna scroll off Smash to the next one too.
Yeah. All right. Best fighting game: Dead or Alive 6,
No.
Jump Force.
No.
Mortal Kombat 11, maybe.
Maybe.
Samurai Showdown,
Maybe.
maybe. But Smash Brothers Ultimate, probably.
I was gonna say like Smash has got the.
I definitely want Smash. Okay, here's the thing I was alluding to earlier. Why the hell is Jump Force here? Why is Jump Force here?
I guess it's technically fight. What else would you call it?
What other fighting game would you want to put in?
That's my thing is I feel like it's here because what else came out this year. I think that's the
I
only
keep
reason
forgetting,
it's
it's like
here.
specifically
What else
like
came out?
2019. So it's like
Big fighting games. I don't know.
that's the thing. What else did come out?
Like Dead or Alive 6 came out and then was just silent on arrival.
I forgot about Dead or Alive 6 was a thing. I forgot about that game.
Then Jump Force is the arena flying, which is just
Jump Force was it this year? I feel like it was way early.
No,
Damn
it was
it,
this year.
man. Okay,
MK11,
I think
obviously, like MK has the popularity to rival Smash, and maybe fighting game fans will just vote for MK despite Smash Bros. But like
The whole voting on just the name alone thing.
because
okay.
you think if Smash Bros. Wins best fighting game, I hope ideally I hope it would win best fighting game, best family game. What you gonna say then? But if it doesn't win best fighting game and then wins best family game,
I can get a lot of shit.
Yeah.
You have to deal with some memes for a couple months and everyone's gonna forget. I personally Mortal Kombat 11 or Smash Bros. Are the only two contenders. I think I would like to see Samurai Showdown get recognized because it's a great game and it's like bringing the game series back, but it's not gonna win.
It's way more niche than those two.
Yeah, but I'm happy it's there though.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to pick that up. I still haven't gotten it. I gotta pick it up.
Like Mortal Kombat and Smash is like the two fighting games that have such a good like casual appeal. They will just sell.
Yeah, they're institutions. They're like the bread and butter of fighting games at this point. Like, Okay, best RPG: Disco Elysium, Final Fantasy 14, Kingdom Hearts 3, Iceborne, Outer Worlds. What? Iceborne?
Yeah.
What would you call it?
That's an action game. That's not an RPG.
Well,
It's got RPG elements, but they're very light.
No. Oh my.
I
I love
RPG
Monster
because
Hunter,
there
but
are
they're
rules to play
very
by.
like calling that an RPG is a stretch.
That's what I'm saying, though.
That is
It's
a
more of an
giant
action.
stretch.
I was gonna say it is way more of an action game. Like the RPG elements, that again, they exist, but they're so light. Like it's more of just.
I feel like this is
slight
why it
ways
was
to
on
do it.
MMO last time. They just want to throw it somewhere. They're just trying to get it
But
in
they
there.
don't want to categorize it properly because they don't want to put action games because they'll go with all like the FPS style games. It's like no, we don't want to put that there
Oh yeah, I would put it more towards action games. You guys are right about that.
because you're just going around hitting big old monsters and with your cool weapons to turn them into weapons to hit bigger monsters.
but equipping the weapons it's an RPG because you're like I want to get +5 in my attack.
Okay.
So I can equip a
That's it,
gun that
RPG.
doesn't change
Yep.
it into an RPG.
Yep, it's an RPG. They said it's right here. They wouldn't lie to me.
Why is Borderlands 3 not here?
Honestly,
Not an RPG.
You're equipping weapons with different stats.
the
That's
worst
all we
part
need to be
is-
an RPG now, right?
No, but seriously though, Borderlands is more of an
There's
RPG.
more to it than that, Miles. I'm sorry to say, but
They just see fantasy monsters and just go by RPG because they're too lazy to really categorize it.
I don't think so. I think they just kind of understand the term RPG is kind of broad. I know what you guys are defining it as, and you guys are absolutely right. But nowadays, when people say RPG, it's definitely a broad term
Yeah.
for like the normal person.
Actually, like in the same way that action game is a very broad term.
Exactly. Like you guys are absolutely right for us. But remember, this is for everybody. This isn't just for Victor, Miles, Jeff, and Michael, right? This is like RPG for everyone. So they see numbers go up, they see stats, they think they know it's not like Outer Worlds or Final Fantasy, but there are a lot of RPG elements in that game.
I just feel like they throw Monster Hunter somewhere, it might win just because they wanted to win something from last year. I would say Kingdom Hearts. Actually, the last expansion for 14 is really good. I didn't finish it yet, but the story is really good. Like 14 was already a mainline Final Fantasy, but that story is so good.
I'll tell you what, I'm more weirded out by 14 being there. To be honest, I think that should be an MMO thing. I think it's different.
I mean,
I'm more weirded out about that.
So I can agree with that. My thing with 14 is very much a Final Fantasy game.
Absolutely.
I was gonna say on the list it specifically says including massively multiplayer experiences.
Oh, it does.
So yeah, they're including MMOs in this bracket.
Where does it say that? I believe
that's why. That's why I sports it there. That's why they put.
He's right.
That's why they put it in there.
Anyway. I guess. I don't know. What do you think's gonna win, Miles? What do you think's gonna win? And what do you like to
Kingdom
win?
Hearts.
You think Kingdom Hearts gonna win?
Yeah, I think Kingdom Hearts has so much. So here's the thing with it. People are mixed about Kingdom Hearts. But I think Kingdom Hearts is a thing that like people wanted for so long. Like next year when this is Final Fantasy VII, is that a Kingdom Hearts 3 that's winning? Because it's not like people wanted it for so long and it's finally out. So I don't know.
Like it's one of those appeal to your nostalgia kind of thing.
Yeah. Did that game meet your expectations? Not to talk about that for too long.
I haven't finished it yet. I mean, for what I played, I heard people complaints about it, and like it's not hard enough. Guess wonder where else I've heard that, right? And to me, it's like it's a Kingdom Hearts game with the characters and a new experience with cool stuff. So I'm happy.
Yeah, I like it too. I don't hate it, but I think I had these expectations that were too high. But it's a good game. It's not a bad game. It's great. My this year I had with the story wise is that it didn't match story pacing of the older games where things were sprinkled out. Like this game is so front.
I feel like there's so much stuff they have to talk about because they made so many spin-offs and things they have to tie up for this saga.
Yeah, but I mean like just how the general story. Like when
I get what you're saying.
Beginning or end of the game.
Yeah, it's like I get that.
Yeah.
The other ones are always what the hell is going on.
Yeah, I mean,
at the end they'd be like, this is how it works.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things that happen that don't really like. I don't want to spoil anything, but you see cutscenes of like, let's say, who's the girl with the guy they're training? What's her name?
Axel and Kyrie.
Axel and Kyrie are training or whatever. That nothing really comes out of that. Like it's just a waste of time for a cutscene.
I mean, but it's telling you what they're doing.
They don't do anything in the cutscenes. They're just sitting there.
Yeah, but it's letting you know that they're training and it's letting you see these characters you like and how they're doing.
Yeah, but we don't also need to like just see them go and eat a banana. Like, what is it? Will let you know that they're eating. Well, I knew that already.
I mean, they discuss some stuff. No, nothing major happens, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It checks in on characters and what they're doing while Sora is doing his stuff.
No, you're not wrong. I think they should have just did more with that. It felt like they cut a lot of content.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
I felt like things were cut. I'm not going to spoil the ending because I'm not going to do that.
The expansion still has not come out.
I got announced the other day. But yeah.
So I still think that Outer Worlds, due to the failure of Fallout 76, is going to be a good contender for RPG, especially for people who actually like RPGs.
I feel like Outer
it's
Worlds
good,
is too
but
much.
I disagree with that.
But I think the huge problem with it is that while it's effectively like a well-polished version of a Bethesda game, it's not really adding much more to the formula.
That's my issue with the game, and also quality of the game is really front-loaded. Like,
I'm more saying that more of a general public is going to like that one. I mean,
I see what you're saying.
I mean, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
because that's a whole while it is like a lot of people are like, oh, okay, it's not anything new. A lot of people do like that type of genre now.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Here's the thing: is Outer Worlds just doesn't have the same mass appeal. Like if this was a Fallout game that did really well, I would agree with you, but it's not.
But yeah, no, I know what you mean because it's effectively like by some of the guys who made Fallout, but not everyone's going to follow up on like who these devs are specifically.
Yeah, it's like comparing Diablo 4 to like all the new stuff coming to PAX, like PAX Exile 2. Like PAX Exile 2 might be as a package right now looking better than Diablo 4, but Diablo 4 will always pull more people because it's Diablo.
Gonna say, you're going to see that because you're going to see the name Diablo, and it's like, yeah, I remember that game.
Mm-hmm. Okay. No, I agree, Miles. I think Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to win this. I think Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to win that. Okay. Best action adventure game. Guess what's not there? Monster Hunter. Borderlands 3, Control.
You don't go on an adventure in that one.
Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, Link's Awakening, and Sekiro.
Why the hell is Death Stranding? Death Stranding, okay. First off, Death Stranding is going to win. It shouldn't, but it is going to win.
I don't know if it's going to win action.
I don't know.
That is a simulation game.
I was gonna say it might.
I'm enjoying watching it. I'm watching Maximilian play it, but like, bruh.
I was gonna say it might have been Resident Evil 2, just because I've heard like every fucking person I've seen that like played it. One, it appeals to nostalgia, but two, a lot of people have said it's actually a real good fucking remake. From
RE2 is really good.
I pick RE2 as well.
Yeah, like I think it's gonna be that, just because again you got the nostalgia factor of people thinking, remembering the original one, and two, it actually delivers on it and then some. So. Yeah, I think personally RE2 for me.
Yeah,
the game's good, but I will actually probably never finish it. But it's a good game.
Yeah, it's great.
The greatest game you'll never finish.
Unless Victor comes over, then we might finish it.
I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. Sekiro seems good. I haven't gotten Sekiro.
I have it. I got it when it came out. I played a little bit of it, and then I just stopped, and I don't know why I haven't gone back to it. It's still a great game, but it is just another one of those things where it's just like, it's gonna be great. I'm gonna finish it, and then I never go back to it because I keep forgetting about it.
Control seems good, but I haven't got it yet. So, I don't know. My pick is probably Resident Evil 2.
I would pick RE2. I think Death Stranding is winning because this is the Keeley show.
I guess. I don't think they're like as close as people say they are. I think they're just like kind of friends. Like
they're kind of friends, right? When Kojima got told he could not go because Konami said he couldn't go, Keeley literally sat there and did a whole tirade on Konami live on broadcast.
Too. I know what you're saying, but like,
then Keeley, he has a character in Death Stranding.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. If
he's making some points. I don't like this.
Well, okay, if people are voting for it, then you can't control that.
Okay, yes, you can't control that, but it's not like they have not been advertising this game like crazy on all of these game awards.
I guess. I don't know. I don't think there's.
But that doesn't mean that people will vote.
I don't think it's collusion. I'm not saying it's collusion, but I'm saying it's probably going to win.
Okay.
Well, the reason why I don't think that it's going to win, especially in this one, is that there's. Especially in the West, it's getting a lot more flack,
as it deserves.
Yeah, well, yeah. In some ways, it's just because people are going into it the wrong mindset. Anyways,
no. It's because they didn't tell us what the hell this game was about. All of a sudden, it's a delivery simulator.
Dog, there's been so many hours of that game you could have watched before it came out. I think it was pretty straightforward.
So many hours? You mean all the trailers that didn't explain anything?
No, there was gameplay. He literally did like an hour or two gameplay session where he just showed you. He said this is the game.
It wasn't like an hour. It was like at one of the Japan things. It was several. It was more than an hour. Where he finally showed some gameplay. Up until then, every trailer was very confusing. Also, you're assuming.
He wasn't to show gameplay.
Also, you're assuming people. When this is
that was shown.
Hold on. This is a Kojima game. Okay, he made Metal Gear and all those games. So anyone who gets this, like, I like Metal Gear, so I'll get Kojima. I'll pick it up. Yeah, all the Metal Gear games are ridiculous. Death Stranding story is right on par with that. So when he showed that stuff, I was like, okay, cool. It's like some different take on Metal Gear. Then you play it, and like, what is this? I can't blame anyone for going to Death Stranding and not liking it for what it is, because
I don't blame them. Yeah, I can't blame people.
I feel like the fault of that falls solely on Kojima, and not that people from the West just didn't understand it. Like he said in an interview, like, you didn't explain this game.
I think he did explain it.
He didn't. I have literally watched every trailer for this game every time they came out. Every single time I was more confused. Because he didn't tell you what the game was about. He didn't. He told you the story.
I don't know why that means that people go into it with the wrong impression, because to be honest with you, the game is crazy, just as crazy and hard to understand as you're playing it. I think right as those trailers were, and those trailers didn't show any combat. And I know that everyone's like, "Oh man, yeah, the guy who made Metal Gear Solid," but they're thinking gameplay of Metal Gear Solid, not storytelling.
Even past that, like they could have done something better than. Here's the main gameplay hook besides actually building the world, which is actually cool. That part's cool, but it's go here, get this, bring it over there, keep going further, and then come all the way back.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. I find that extremely boring and tedious. My point is more like being surprised by it. I think if you did your research, you wouldn't have been surprised.
But
I don't think that.
I don't think someone has to go and do research on a game for me to say that like it is misleading the way it was advertised.
But it's not necessarily the studio's fault if you go out and buy something and it's not the thing that you thought that it was.
If you have preconceived notions of the game before you even do any research on it, you're gonna get surprised no matter what you.
Especially if the notions aren't actually based on anything. Like
if you bought Disco Elysium, you might think there's combat in that game. There's no combat in that game. I don't know. I
just don't agree. I
think you just don't like the game.
I'm telling you, I like watching it. My problem is 100% the way the game was advertised.
Mm.
They didn't show gameplay or discuss gameplay until like a couple months before it came out. So obviously people aren't gonna know. And then when they did it,
that's so reasonable.
It was at but Victor, it was at a Japan only event. They didn't do this at E3, but it's airing stuff. Yes, I saw it.
You saw it
because Victor, I'm not going to use me as the example of the average consumer. I'll watch anything. I'm up all times. I can't expect everyone's going to be up at any time to watch some Japanese event.
Oh yeah. So your point is that since it's Kojima and he has that pedigree, you would think that
he was putting more time to at least show off the gameplay so people have a better understanding of the game before they get it.
I see that. If I was someone who wasn't too into gaming, I would have been surprised when I bought the game. But Victor Logan knew what that game was, and that's why Victor Logan didn't buy the game.
Yeah, me too.
And
I knew what it was.
So I didn't buy the game. I see what you're saying.
But I can never blame anyone who like went into this and then was like, "What is this?"
I guess. Either way, it's arbitrary because both of us didn't buy it. Because it doesn't matter. I don't think I've ever bought that game. But okay, where were we? Are we a best action game?
Yeah,
best action. Yeah.
Okay. Apex Legends, Astral Chain, COD, Devil May Cry, Gears 5, and Metro Exodus.
I would say DMC.
Me too. That game is
phenomenal. Yeah.
But I feel like Call of Duty might win. But
you're probably right.
Yeah, it's at that. But I mean, Gears 5, it's still Gears, mind you.
Yeah, but Gears hasn't been as nowhere near.
That's what I'm saying though. But I was gonna say but its popularity has waned considerably since the last release.
Yeah.
So
I love Gears, and I completely forgot that game came out.
What?
Gears 5.
Metro or
no Gears 5.
No. Personally, I think the only one I've really truly played through is Metro myself, and I quite liked it. But it is definitely one of those like the Metro games have been kind of enjoyable, but they're not necessarily like the most popular of the action games. So yeah, I can sort of see going towards more like Devil May Cry or COD or something like that.
I think COD will win, but I'd like Devil May Cry 5 or Astral Chain to win.
I think Devil May Cry 5 still has a decent chance, mind you, comparatively.
That game was so fucking good. The music, the gameplay, Jesus. Okay, let's go to best VR/AR game. Asgard's Wrath, Blood and Truth, Beat Saber, No Man's Sky, and Trover Saves the Universe.
I mean, you see Beat Saber on the list, and you're just kind of like, why is there anything else on this list?
Yeah, Beat Saber's going.
Like Beat Saber just wins everything for VR.
I do find it funny that No Man's Sky is here. I'm like, good on you, No Man's Sky. You're actually being nominated for something.
You're back to the Game Awards.
First you lied here, and now you're being nominated.
The circle of life. Oh my god. And then you're going to see Death Stranding next year. Best game advertisement. Best community support: Apex Legends, Destiny 2, FF14, Fortnite, and Rainbow Six Siege.
What the hell is Apex on this list? I don't know, but why the hell is Apex on this list?
No, it's community support, transparency, and responsiveness. I mean, personally, I actually throw my hat towards Rainbow Six Siege, but I have a bias for that.
Yeah. Why the hell is Apex on this list? I was just gonna get more upset. Like, really? Community support, Apex Legends, really?
Yeah, I mean but that's why I have my bias towards Siege, because as somebody who actually plays Siege, I know like the actual devs do take their time to actually like balance shit out. Yeah, and try to like make adjustments to the gameplay. And I know that they actually cared about it, because even back then in the original heyday, when people were complaining about the game being broken as hell, they were arranging a fucking secret survey group of players, me being one of these secret survey people, to discuss like elements of the game, upcoming new features, and what they should do, to like improve the game for their players. Like they actually took the time to get a group of us and actually see what they could do to make the game better. And not a lot of devs would actually take the time to do that.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I will say, I think it might be Destiny that wins it though, because
That's my vote. That's my vote.
Yeah, because I also don't see this as like a big category that a lot of people are like, oh yeah, that's right. I really love the community support for this one game.
Yeah.
Right? So a lot of times
on the list.
Yeah, people are gonna look at it and they're gonna go, well, I really like Destiny, so I guess I'll choose Destiny. And I really like that they're not EA anymore.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Destiny 2 has come a long fucking way, man.
I was
they did a lot of
thing-
changes.
Yeah, even the move to free to play
has
was
nothing to do with the
very.
game itself. It has to do with the company behind the game. But
Yeah.
I think the
yeah,
move to free to play for Destiny 2 helps them a lot here too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, how many times do you ever actually see a game change distributor?
Yeah, that's right.
Like that is very rare, and it changes for the better for the most part because it goes from, Blizzard's BattleNet launcher, which at this point a lot of people aren't going to be as comfortable since there's all those other controversies, but it also goes to Steam, which is the more popular accepted digital distributor.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those things where it's very rare that things like that actually have happened. And speaking of QE4, I'm surprised No Man's Sky is not here because, my God, that's still the turnaround story of a century.
Yeah,
it is.
Like, they redeemed themselves so fucking hard with what they've done with their community. Like, that deserves a spot. Unless they did this already, in which case, I guess that's why it's not here now.
Yeah. I mean, even like No Man's Sky, like the failure, I feel like the failure came from trying to be earnest with community.
It was one of those, they got really ambitious and technically just had a rushed product.
Yeah, and I felt bad for them because I feel like a lot of the issues were like, because they didn't have someone say, hey, maybe you shouldn't talk about multiplayer because you don't know if that's going to be ready yet.
I was going to say, keep everyone's expectations properly managed.
Yeah, properly.
The guy was just overzealous about what they were making.
Yeah, they definitely had multiplayer planned the whole time because we got it.
I was gonna say Peter Molyneux'd it, where he promised way too much.
I was actually just thinking Molyneux.
That's a good idea.
But here's the thing, though. Unlike Molyneux, though, they come back and they actually delivered it.
Yeah, they did. I mean,
so they still technically did better than Molyneux.
I still want a Fable 4. I'm so mad.
Fable is a fun little interesting game series, but yeah.
Oh wait, hold on a second. The Fable license has been reopened by Microsoft, and someone is working on a Fable.
Yeah, I already heard about that. Yeah, they're gonna reboot it or something.
But it depends on how they take the direction, though.
Yeah,
it does. But at the very least, someone is doing something.
Yeah, it's at least the IP's not dead.
I just hope in the new Fable game you have 300 days to fix your kingdom.
It actually had 300 days.
No, actually, take a nap. It goes back to 1 day.
Oh my God! No, so when he told me that, because I was doing it and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get all my gold ready. He's like, I got 70 days. I'll just get forward. Day 0. Like what?
Yeah.
No, the thing I thought was funny was also because I played Fable 2 when I first started going out, and I just remember for the final boss fight, it's like my health is getting low, so I better just eat like 30 fucking things. So there's a statue of my character, but he's like morbidly obese because he couldn't stop eating. So it's just this like the best part is too he lost the weight afterwards because he started doing normal things again. So he's just this regular looking guy. And there's just like this fucking 500-pound statue of him in town. It's so fucking good, especially because I did like the good route, but I looked evil as fuck. So you just see this like 400-pound coated cultist looking motherfucker who saved the town. There was a lot of dumb things about Fable, but sometimes you get fun moments like that, and it makes it enjoyable. But yeah, I would definitely like to see another game in the franchise, especially one where they actually like balance out all the weird things that they had going on with it.
Okay, best mobile game: Call of Duty Mobile. Grindstone, Sayonara Wild Hearts. I've heard of that game. Sky, Children of Light, and What the Golf.
I've seen What the Golf. Yeah. Like I think out of all of them, like the most fun one. Yeah, I think What the Golf can kind of hit that because it's just it's just a fun little silly quirky, not quite golf game, but gets the principles done.
What the hell are these games?
But I don't have the honest feeling it's going to be Call of Duty.
Yeah, it's probably Call of Duty.
Because
I think it will be. I've heard.
Because like, let's be real, right? Like maybe some people heard of these. Literally, I play mobile games all the time. I have not heard of any of these games but Call of Duty.
Sayonara Wild Hearts is pretty popular, dog.
I was gonna say I'm surprised Regalia isn't on here. To be honest,
yeah, me too.
It's still a relatively popular mobile game.
Yeah, it came out September.
So What the Golf? What the Golf is big. It's popular too. I've heard that.
If Pokemon Masters didn't flop, it'd probably be on here, but.
Yeah,
sad.
And all you Pokemon, not you, all Pokemon people. I'm more excited for Pokemon Masters than Shield, honestly. Kiss my ass. Get out of here. I want to play the phone game.
I can sense the fury in that statement.
Dog, when I saw that, I was like, I'm never gonna bother talking about it. But good.
Oh my.
Yeah, like because you like Pokemon Go better than Pokemon Sword and Shield. Best independent game: Baba Is You, Disco Elysium, Katana Zero, Outer Wilds, and Untitled Goose Game.
Goose Game.
Goose Game.
So there's 2 indie games.
Yeah, that's really dumb. I guess this one goes to the game, and the other one went to the studio.
No, the other one was sponsored.
The other one was Subway.
The other one was sponsored, and yeah, it was for the studio and not really the game, but it's like the same company. So what's the hell is the point?
But yeah, that's the entire point. Is that it's the entire point is that it's the studio's first game.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, that's the point. The Subway one is the studio's first game. The independent game is just the indie games in general.
Okay.
So like it's like what studio?
So like they debut it. That should have been a better like indie game.
It should have been, but they said fresh because Subway sponsored.
That's
this.
so confusing.
But the problem is that most of them are the same.
Nah.
Yeah, the same.
Although Baba Is You and Katana Zero are the only ones that aren't on there.
Baba Is You was yeah, that's kind of weird.
I heard
Untitled Goose Game. It's
I heard some interesting because it's a really interesting little quirky puzzle game.
Yeah, it looks
so. It's got
that's nice and all, but Goose Game.
But yeah, I was
Goose
gonna say
the Goose.
Depending on how arty you want to be with something like Outer Wilds, because it's an arty exploration type thing. But
yeah,
maybe in that leaning towards it. I mean, personally, I'd go with Baba Is You, but yeah, it's probably going to be Goose Game.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, we're all cynical. There could be a turnaround in some of these. Like we're not omnipotent.
I could see Outer Wilds.
I just feel like the meme pick has a very high chance.
You're absolutely
this is the internet we're talking about here.
Well, for me, it depends if you're voting on it or if it's a panel.
Well, you can vote on it because it literally on the site it says sign in to vote.
Okay, then you can't. Okay.
I'll be honest with you. If it's a panel, I still see it being Untitled Goose Game. Also because of the meme potential.
I was gonna say fucking swarms of people because if anyone just signs in and votes, it's gonna be a lot of casual people just popping in and saying, "Hey, punk,"
like the Kids' Choice Awards. Damn it, Justin Bieber. Best ongoing game: Apex Legends.
Why is this here?
Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Rainbow Six Siege. Okay, FF14 is everywhere, so it deserves to win something.
Yeah, but I feel like Fortnite's gonna win this.
Yeah, because didn't Fortnite have that weird like season 2 thing that they were trying to do?
Yeah, their whole thing where they like basically destroyed the entire map and made a new one. Like,
I guess they have to do that, or I could still, Destiny 2
yeah.
has done so much. It's so good, though.
It has, but it's not Fortnite.
And again, I'm still holding the candle up for Siege since of what happened. But yeah, whether or not realistically we'll get anything will be. Yeah.
Games for Impact: Concrete Genie, Grease, Kind Words, Life is Strange 2, Seal of Solitude.
By
it
says a pro. Wait, does this literally say? Yeah, it says pro social meeting or message. That's a strange way to describe.
I don't know. Life is Strange 2 was pretty fucking good.
I'm just gonna say Life is Strange because I know it.
Yeah,
I mean, I actually played
Life is Strange is gonna do it.
I actually played Kind Words. It was interesting for what it was.
Yeah, but it's not really a game. It's like
but
it's like an idea.
But you say that, but a lot of these conceptually, I believe for some people, may not be really considered a game. If you know what I mean.
I think Kind Words is more debatable, not a game, than Life is Strange 2. Life is Strange 2 is definitely a game.
No, that's what I say. It's still a game, necessarily a game, but there's a lot of weird things about how like certain like art games get interpreted.
I guess if it was Life is Strange 2 is not a game, they're wrong.
No. I'm not saying that. No. Don't get me wrong. Life is Strange is a game.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's an adventure game. It's still a game. Hey, but I'm just trying to say like for these kind of you know what I'm talking about, like this kind of genre.
No, I don't get what you're saying.
Where they're trying to do more like art interpretations, so you're not really getting much in the way of actual gameplay, more than an experience that's interactive.
I guess. Yeah.
So like Kind Words is sort of more like that, where it's an interactive experience that gets played and treated like a game, sort of.
Yeah, Kind Words feels more like an elaborate chat room.
It's sort of because you can't really talk back to people.
I know.
It's a one-way chat room.
Yeah,
I kind of like it for what it is.
Chat room where you can't actually talk back to people because it's too elaborate.
It's effectively like digital message in a bottle, so I can get one reply and that's it.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good.
I like it for what it is, but yeah, I wouldn't necessarily consider it like ultra game. It's just a fun little. How would I explain it? it's a neat novelty.
Yeah,
That's what I would
it's
describe it.
awesome. The music's good too and everything.
Like,
I listen
yeah,
to
like
that song all the time.
it's a nice little concept, but I don't know necessarily if it's like the most thought-provoking thing.
Yeah, Concrete Genie has a lot of thought to it. It's kind of cute. I never played it, so I've just seen a lot of gameplay for it, but I never really went into it, and I have no idea what Grease is.
Isn't Grease is a play set in like the 60s, right?
I hate you so much. I hate you.
Yes.
Best performance.
I was waiting for you to do that, Michael. I was waiting for that.
I knew he was going to do it eventually. It was so low. Ashley
I
Birch
could do that
as
first. Yeah.
Ashley Birch as Parvati in Outer Worlds. Courtney Hope as Jesse Faden or Faden in Control. Laura Bailey as Kate in Gears 5. Mads Mikkelsen as Cliff. Death Stranding. Matthew Peretta as Dr. Casper Darling in Control. Norman Reedus as Sam Porter Bridges in Death Stranding.
Norman Reedus.
I was gonna say,
Reedus.
people making fucking jokes about Norman Reedus for Death Stranding. Yeah, it's gonna be Norman Reedus.
Been
Yeah,
staring at his face for like 4 years,
Yeah, pretty much.
waiting for him to do something, and now we finally get to hear him.
Yeah, so I would say Norman Reedus.
I'm sure his performance is fine. I mean, that's not a part of the game, issue of the game. But
I mean,
yeah,
his performance was fine, but I just feel like Death Stranding's gonna win something.
of
So,
course.
Yeah, it's gotta win
Not this.
something. Like one of these, it's gonna have to fucking win.
Miles, you're so mad at Death Stranding.
look, man,
Anti-Miles.
this game has been put in front of me for so long. It's like this. I want to see what it is. Then I see what it is. It's like, man, this is not what I thought it'd be.
I too. I
was gonna say, like,
Like,
when I saw like the initial trailer for Death Stranding, I was like, this is not going to be a Metal Gear game. This is going to be something weird and arty, and I could tell already from the trailer, it's not going to be
I mean,
Metal
I
Gear.
got that too,
So
but
I
after
saw-
like the 20th trailer of the same shit of like, what the hell is this game? I was just annoyed.
I was gonna say that as I saw the trailer, I was like, wait, is it just the walking part?
mhm.
And I realized, oh, it's just the walking part. This is actually like, but that's the thing that my expectations were tempered. Okay, it's just going to be a walking thing then.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be a weird, interesting walking delivery simulator with Kojima storytelling, and it was a weird delivery game with Kojima storytelling.
Yeah.
Like, I got my expectations out of it. And I'm actually considering actually getting it,
Yeah.
but
I
probably not for full price.
I'm having quite a bit of fun.
But like
with
the
it.
thing is, I'm probably not going to be buying it at full price, though. I will admit that.
I'm
Like,
gonna wait for
probably-
the.
can't blame
I'm
you
gonna wait
there.
for a cheap PC version for $15, $20. Just try.
And now
it.
2020.
Well, yeah.
So I'll just say, I scrolled up, I saw one thing in all the rest of these. That's all I'm gonna say. We can keep going.
Stop spoiling things. Ashley Birch as Parvati. I think she may actually win that.
I will say that
I
is
think she
very
might
close because people love Parvati.
Yeah, I think she may win that.
It was that kind of like they wanted to give the first like companion character a really good like impression, and they did definitely do it with a lot of the impact. Although it does make me definitely feel like it was kind of a missed opportunity because they only really did a lot of that stuff with her, and they didn't really do it with a lot of the other companions. Where you got to stop and talk and like get opinions and like little things. Like they did a couple, and then they just stopped, and I was like, "Where are the rest of them saying anything?
Yeah.
Why am I not getting fun, immersive conversations? No, that's all.
Why is Remnant not anywhere on these lists? What the fuck?
Because
You know what? It should be in there for RPGs instead of which one can we get
Monster
rid of?
Hunter.
Put it in there.
Final Fantasy
Yeah.
14.
hold the fuck up.
Kingdom Hearts. Replace Kingdom Hearts. Put that Remnant in there.
Kingdom Hearts is an action game. I mean,
Yeah.
some people say Kingdom Hearts isn't an RPG. Some people say that.
Yeah, I wouldn't fault anyone for saying that. But
Me neither.
they got slammed in RPG and not action.
So just remove all of these games. All of them. They're all bad. Disco Elysium and Outer Worlds. Those are the only two choices.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like if you put Kingdom Hearts in RPG, I think Monster deserves to be there if you put a Kingdom Hearts in RPG.
was gonna
Kingdom
say,
Hearts
yeah.
is way more RPG stuff
you
than
think
Monster Hunter.
so?
Yes. Kingdom Hearts still has a command menu.
Yeah. It does. Command menu is so arbitrary, though. You're right. It is a command menu.
The way you
It's
said
almost like aesthetic purpose. But you're right. Anyway, best audio design. COD, Control, Death Stranding again, which isn't everything, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Gears 5, Resident Evil 2, and Sekiro.
Oh, I also want to point out
Hearts
this is audio design, not score or the music,
Yeah, that's the next
Yeah.
one.
which is the one right above this.
I mean, that's a big difference, though, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because that would be more stuff like like how sound gets like incorporated into the game rather than just listening to the soundtrack.
My vote would be RE2 because if you're playing that game when Mr. X is stomping around outside the room you're in, you're like, oh please don't come in here.
It's so great.
Yeah. So I can see for RE2.
Yeah. Best score / music: Cadence of Hyrule, Death Stranding, Devil May Cry 5, Kingdom Hearts 3, and Sayonara Wild Hearts. I don't know, man. DMC 5.
I would say DMC 5 or Kingdom Hearts.
Real quick question: does Sayonara Wild Hearts have like a really good score? I haven't
played it
because it's a mobile game. I find it interesting that's in there.
It's all like Switch and stuff too.
I was gonna say it's like one of those indie titles that kind of just gets spread around.
Yeah, it's definitely like that. Cadence of Hyrule has to be good too.
That actually is really good music. I haven't finished that game, but it is really good music.
I was gonna say it's by the devs who did Crypt of the Necrodancer, isn't it?
Yeah, so you got very techno remixes of Zelda beats.
I don't really like the Necrodancer.
It is Crypt of the Necrodancer, just with a Hyrule skin over it.
I was gonna say it's a Zelda flavored version of it, effectively.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean you even play the same main character as that one, so
yeah.
I would say personally, Death Stranding for score music.
Really, is it that good?
Myself, oh yeah, it's really good. And to be honest with you, like because again, a lot of the game is you like walking from one place to another. So every once in a while, when you're like walking through the hills, and all of a sudden, like the camera will pan like very far back, and this like melodic music will play, and it's touching, and it's artistic.
My thing with the Death Stranding music is like it's not music made for Death Stranding. They got actual music. Because when it pops up, it's like here's low licensed by something Nevada, and it's like
I'm pretty sure it's mixed, right? It's just licensed and
there is, but like my thing is like those moments. Whenever it talks about those moments, that's not Death Stranding music. That's just music.
Well, that's the same thing. Kingdom Hearts 3, right?
Kingdom Hearts 3, no. Kingdom Hearts 3 is music made for Kingdom Hearts.
Dog, there's songs in Kingdom Hearts 3 that's literally from Disney movies. What do you mean?
What? Okay, yes. But then, like, you're gonna...
The argument falls apart here.
No, it doesn't. What? You're in a Disney world. Of course there's gonna be some songs taken from that. But then there's some songs that are like, no, this is music from the real world. Not from like, here's this game. Okay, no, wait. If Death Stranding took you to a Metal Gear area and started playing Metal Gear music, then yes, I'd say no, that's fine. No, that wasn't made for Death Stranding, but it's a Metal Gear area.
But Death Stranding also takes place in the real world. So it would make sense to have real world music.
Dog, you're just hating. You're hating so hard.
It's a bit much at this point.
That's just my point. I think it stands.
I think this is the one spot where Death Stranding can actually stand its own ground. It's like audio design. Anyway, I haven't played it, so I can't. From Michael's interpretation, it sounds like it's kind of dope. But anyway, best art direction: Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, Sekiro, Sayonara Wild Hearts, Grease, Death Stranding, Control.
I'll say Control.
Yeah,
I would say probably Control. Death Stranding looks nice, but it doesn't really have an art direction. It just looks kind of depressing.
It's like everything's like really realistic.
So it's not an art direction. I mean, it looks nice, but it's not direction, and you can't really call it even art because it's just landscape. You know, it's landscapes and buildings, and yeah, it looks nice, but like it's not like
it's more like a graphic.
You're not like, oh, this is a beautiful painting. You're like, oh, it's a mountain. It's a mountain. I don't know what you want me to say about it.
I mean, I will make some things for Sekiro in the sense of it does set some very like cinematic set pieces with some of the encounters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like when you go in to face off someone and you get that kind of ambient quietness as you're just about to do a little bit of a face off. I do find that kind of thing, but I don't know necessarily if I would give it the like highest direction. It depends, I guess, if you're into like those old like what's the one I'm looking for?
Like Feudal Japan or like
the Japanese equivalent of a Western, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah. I got
you. If you're into those set pieces, then that art direction really is great for that.
Yeah,
but if you're not really one into those, because it's a lot of real like classical feudal Japan things. It's effectively like trying to be like a Tenchu game, and it's if you're into that kind of stuff, then yeah, it does have really good direction for that because it kind of follows it very well. But it's one of those like it lays itself into this sort of setting that you kind of need to be really into that setting. So I can sort of see why it's on there, but also why it might not win as a result of that.
What about Sayonara Wild Hearts? Looks pretty good too. Though. I don't know if you guys ever seen gameplay for that. I've seen gameplay. I haven't played it.
I haven't myself, mind you.
It looks really cool. Link's Awakening looks kind of cool too, but like
it's just one of those like we did our own little quirky like.
That's what I was saying. It has a chance because of that because it's so different.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
It's kind of like it might pull through because of its quirkiness.
Yeah. Okay. Best narrative. I know which one Miles is going to pick. Plague Tale, Control, Miles' favorite, Death Stranding, Disco Elysium, and Outer Worlds. I have no real
I don't really know.
pick.
Maybe Plague Tale, because Plague Tale is known for narrative.
Yeah, Plague Tale is kind of cool. But I haven't played any of these games to completion, so I can't.
As much as I want to say Death Stranding, you like I said before, you don't really know exactly what's going on in Death Stranding. So all the narrative is like, "Whoa, what's going on?" You're always going, "Whoa, what's going on?" Wait, what was that? Wait, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Who the frick was that guy?
I think
Why does he
Outer
look
Worlds.
like that?
Outer Worlds has the best like narrative points, like ideas, but I don't know if it's the best story. Okay, best game direction: Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, Sekiro, and Outer Worlds.
I want to say RE2 because for a remake, it feels like I didn't play the original. I've seen the original, but it feels like a new game. I don't think anyone that played that game felt like, I'm just playing RE2 all over again.
Yeah, and that's a new game.
I was gonna say like they did for a remake, but they did what a remake should do, which is they make the game again, but they improve on areas where they could, where they've learned from their mistakes and made it better.
Yeah,
because a lot of remakes they just let's just up the graphics and do nothing else.
Yeah,
even taking the game away from tank control and make it like RE4 style was such a good idea.
I was gonna say tank controls is just that was one of like the dark days of 3D character movement where you just didn't really know what you were supposed to do, and as a result, you just kind of
outside of some story beats for RE2, like the game's completely it's really good.
Yeah, it's definitely up there.
Okay.
Well, I will say I think that Death Stranding might win this one just because it's direction.
So.
And when you say direction, let's be honest. Of all these games here, the only one that you actually know the director of, that most people are going to know the director of, is Kojima, and that's going to be Death Stranding. And to be honest with you, if any of these are going to be rigged to give it to like one studio, it's going to be this one, and it's going to be Death Stranding.
Straight up, I think Death Stranding taking like 6 awards.
You think so?
Yeah.
Is it going to do so like? Oh wait, was it the last one where we just kept seeing Red Dead win everything?
Probably.
I'm trying to remember if that was the last one. Where Red Dead just like won everything and the game only went out for like a month or so.
Okay, Game of the Year: Control, Death Stranding, Smash Bros. Ultimate, RE2, Sekiro, and The Outer Worlds.
You know where my vote is, but I know what I think is winning.
Okay, I know you're again like bothered by Death Stranding, but that's not.
I'm not bothered by it, but I'm just saying like.
Dog, there's only like 6 titles in this whole list of games. Like these games have been repeated. Controls everywhere.
I mean, realistically, I don't think Outer Worlds or Control should even be here.
Control and Death Stranding have the same amount of nominations. They have the same number.
Like I don't think Control or Outer Worlds are bad games, but Game of the Year, I would consider. Normally, wouldn't consider either of those. But my thing is like, what else came out?
Yeah. So how did nominations work? Any of you guys know? Was it by the committee or was it by?
I think nominating is a panel.
Okay. Because my issue with these is that it seems like only AAA games are on there.
Yeah, well, it's like AAA and a handful of notable indie, and that's it.
Yeah, I wouldn't call Control AAA.
I don't really know. I haven't played it, so I couldn't tell you. I couldn't argue that point. What about Outer Worlds? Do you think Outer Worlds AAA, or like would you think it's more like?
I would say like AA.
Yeah.
AA, because AA is a weird thing.
So. Yeah,
outside of like the main like big studio stuff, but they tend to be things that have to work with big studio or get similar releases.
Yeah,
they're usually priced in between like the smaller indies and the bigger AAAs.
Uh-huh.
I honestly believe we should get more AA studios personally, because AA studios have that kind of bigger, like they have the bigger budget and the bigger staff, but at the same time they can afford to take more risks where AAAs won't.
Yeah.
So you get some more experimental gameplay, but you can crash and burn. So that's why it's not necessarily the most easy thing to do.
Yeah. I don't know, man. These awards, I feel like a lot of games are like missed.
Yeah.
And a lot of same games are repeated over and over. So like, I know I want to shit on Death Stranding for being everywhere, but I also want to shit on Control for being everywhere.
Yeah,
And
I won't lie to you. Control is also really weird to me that it's everywhere.
Yeah, it's like I'm sure it's a good game, but like other games came out, right? Am I just I'm not stupid?
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of that has to do with, and I threw it in the doc, the voting jury, because that's these are the people that get to decide what's being voted on, and I wouldn't be too surprised if the developers or the developers have enough friends or enough, I guess friends in these other companies in order to sort of push for a lot of nominations for theirs. Because the thing is that you have to remember, even if you don't win, being nominated still gets your name out there and still makes people go, oh yeah, that's right, I wanted to pick up that game, and people buy it.
So it's a lot of exposure.
Yeah.
Like, just having your name up there, even if you lose, even if you're guaranteed to lose, it's still exposure.
All right, just to make a point, let's list some games that aren't there that should be there. Let's start off with MK11 should appear more times. Kingdom Hearts 3 should probably appear more times. Goose Game should probably appear more times.
RE2, in my opinion.
RE2. Bloodstain's not even on there at all.
No, yeah, that's true.
You
that's
know what?
You know
crazy. What? RPG. Bam. There we go.
Bloodstain isn't on there. Yeah, this is definitely an RPG. What else? Apex not on there. We got
Team Sonic Racing's not on there.
Team Sonic Racing's not on there.
I'm just kidding. You don't put that one.
I mean, so it sucks that Death Stranding is everywhere, but there are tons of other games that aren't like at all. Creature in the Well. We got Devil May Cry 5's, but Devil May Cry 5 has some. Wait, it's not Game of the Year contender.
Nope.
Bullshit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, why is
Fire
Control?
Why
is Control up there?
Dude, Fire Emblem's not on there.
Yeah, that's it.
I want to say for
like Fire Emblem was only on here like twice.
That,
right?
Age of Empires 2 isn't on there. Definitive.
For like a re-release. Any opinions on the Star Wars game, Fallen Order? Thinking of having any places on there?
It came out too soon.
Yeah, it might come out.
It's just too. It's that too soon then.
Yeah, like just like Pokemon's not on here.
And it's not. And it's not Red Dead big, so yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because another game recently.
Yeah, because it's Red Dead, so of course they're going to squeeze it in there.
And then, they did more than just squeeze it in there. They just slathered it all over everyone.
I mean, Judgment is barely on there. No, it's not on there at all. Judgment's not on there at all.
Judgment's not, yeah.
Yeah, so, like, I don't know, man. It's hard to take these awards seriously.
How many Microsoft titles are on here? Not a whole lot.
Just Gears and Outer Worlds, that's it.
Yeah, and Outer Worlds is like technically Microsoft now. So
yeah.
Let's see here.
I don't know, man. I mean, you might actually have a point where it's like whoever whispered in the ears of the panel people more get the spot. Like, it feels unfair when like Bloodstained is on there. Like, that's
it's a popularity contest, like 100%. That's why I'm skeptical of Death Stranding, because like it is slathered on everything, and it's just like, really, does this game need to be in this one and this one?
I mean, clearly this is just the Oscars, but for video games.
I mean, honestly, if you're looking at the voting jury, there's 80 different jurors roundabout, and they have them listed from countries, and I'm scrolling down through, and I don't know any of these guys.
So my problem when I look at that is most of those are video game outlets. So some of those outlets, they have to be in good with the companies, and they can't write bad reviews, so they don't get some games. So like that's already going to sway who's going to show up here.
Yeah.
Even if not intentionally, it's going to happen. And then when I scroll down to the esports one, I see like fighting hubs or event hubs. That's only fighting games. So why is Evo here every year? Well, there you go.
Look, the LA Times apparently gets to decide what kind of games are popular.
Bruh. Some of those newspapers are starting to make. They are starting to try and make esports divisions, but they don't need to vote on this. They like who they got.
Oh, you know what it is? Okay, let me go back. Okay, so in terms of voting for the games, I think I know exactly what it is. I think there's going to be here's the fan vote for the best game of the year, and then here's our vote for the best game of the year. So the fan vote will be like a small little thing. Like,
I forgot about that. Yeah,
that's what it is. Like, so
each person gets a category. So there's a chance for one versus the other.
Yeah, so we might win the fan or most popular version, but you won't win the juries.
Also, I'm looking at games that are like released or are about to be released. Did you know Panzer Dragoon is getting a remake?
I heard about that, but forgot.
Yeah, I think I vaguely heard some things. I completely forgot about it too. I'm going to be honest here. Like, I remember playing like a demo of the one that was released for the original Xbox, not knowing that it came out for like the Sega systems like years before that on the fucking it came out on the Sega Saturn. Oh my god! Like, I mean, the weird thing is the fact that it's a rail shooter. Like, how many rail shooters have you seen get released?
I mean, not many, but that's what Panzer Dragoon was.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Like, how many of them have you ever seen? Like this is a new title in a genre that is very neglected nowadays.
Niche, but it's got people who love it. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying though. People will definitely go out and buy it, but I think the last like newer rail shooter I've seen was like Blue Estate.
It's just one of those things that Sega has to realize it's got really good IPs and actually use them.
Yeah, Blue Estate.
Hopefully they do that.
What, have you played Blue Estate, Vic?
I almost did. I just watched a lot of gameplay of it. I thought about getting it. I was like, I don't think I like this.
I played a bit of it. I like it to some extent. It's kind of stupid, I will say, but it's just one of the. I just like it as a concept of just for what it is. Because you don't see a lot of good, like, or rather not good, but I should more say like newer rail games. Like, you don't see them anymore. They're kind of restricted to just older games that are in the arcades that you would go to.
Yeah,
and that's it. Although there is that fucking Rambo game. Yeah, we don't talk about that one. That's not a good one.
Yeah.
Real quick question: doesn't the Game Awards usually have like a highly anticipated category, or did they get rid of that after No Man's Sky bombed?
Well, no. It's not like highly anticipated. They just show new games. So that's something I want to talk about when we're done. Yeah. It's like,
I was gonna say,
what do you think's to be announced? Because I think we're getting the last character in the Smash Bros. Fighter Pass at this, definitely.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say they did an announcement with the last year's Game Awards. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see that again.
You're gonna see Sam Porter Bridges go inside his home.
Oh God,
please,
no! Like, you will. We're gonna see
tournament?
Norman Reedus there.
Please no. Like, Sakurai and Kojima are friends, but we got Snake. That's what we want. Don't get me that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Sam Porter Bridges has his ability to walk around the stage.
No, he just swings the fucking ladder around. He can put it down, like he can place it down and then just pick it up and just like smack people.
That smashes him falling over with boxes.
Oh my god. He just
hold on. Didn't that one guy announce that so someone leaked that it was going to be Gordon Freeman for some reason. I don't know what his abilities would be.
I heard nothing about that, and I also highly doubt that.
Oh yeah, no. It was a guy who had multiple confirmed leaks for different things as well for more Valve things.
In what way? See, if that happened,
I
think it'd be
me like I leaked it. I don't know.
I'm just saying, like me thinking as a Smash player and trying to understand from Sakurai's mind. Oh, in what way would he do Gordon Freeman? Like, if you're going to tell me that's in the DLC that's coming after the Fighter Pass ends, I could see that. The last one, the Fighter Pass, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
The last of the Fighter Pass was basically leaked already.
What was it supposed to be?
Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden.
That'd be cool.
But the person said Terry and Ryu, and they got Terry right. So.
Cool. Well, I hate leaks because it doesn't fucking matter. We can't play it anyway, right? So, like, you gotta wait anyways. I guess we should move on to the next news thing. We're running kind of not long, but
I mean, whenever it's pre-Game Awards, it's gonna take a while to go through.
I was gonna say the Game Awards is a big thing, so it would be realistic to devote a good amount of time to it.
Yeah, let's do 3, and then maybe after that, you might cut it. Jeff, you want to take 3?
Well, I mean, it kind of like bundles into. Because this whole thing is effectively just a lot of Valve announcements. But, I mean, we could literally just say one of the biggest things, period, just happening is we're getting a new Half-Life game. Like, that is hands down. Like,
we did it.
Like, we didn't do anything. We just waited to make dumb jokes.
Guys.
I didn't do anything because I want them to fix Artifact. That's what I want.
Yeah, I couldn't care.
Get out of here. Half-Life is better.
I want Artifact to be fixed. I love that game.
Yeah, that's
it was maybe one day. Never. Anyway,
I'm just sad when someone told me like last weekend was the 1-year anniversary of Artifact. That is dead. They didn't do anything. I'm so upset.
Oh, it's been a year.
Yes, it's been a year. Yeah. Like when someone said that, it's like, oh no,
But yeah, but the thing about this one though is that's been polarizing around people. That this like Half-Life 1.5, because effectively it's a bit of a prequel to 2. This is a bit of a side story. Is that the fact that this is a VR exclusive game? Like the fact that Half-Life Alyx is effectively just this, a VR only game that is not even going forward in the plot. It's technically going back in the plot.
Yeah.
I feel like when we were talking about this earlier, or like when I was driving you home.
Yeah,
I feel like
we did.
VR really needed something like this. If VR is going to get something, it needs this.
Yeah, like there is one of those things where we're like we need like some sort of like big seller. Sort of like how people weren't really buying original Xboxes that well, but then Halo came out and they started selling like hotcakes.
Yeah, that's what I bought. We got our Xbox Halo 1 and 2.
Yeah, so like if this means that, it doesn't specifically have to be Index. Hell, it doesn't even have to be a Valve product, because this game is compatible. And this is the nice thing about this game. This game is compatible with all the other consoles effectively. So you can play this with, your Oculus Rift, or even if you don't have the money for it, as long as your computer is relatively beefy enough, you can play this on one of those Windows mixed reality sets, which is effectively, the budget VR sets. And those are like, they can run you about $150 if you know where to shop, especially if you can get a decent deal.
Mm-hmm.
So like $100-$200 that's kind of like roughly what you're going for. Maybe 3, but once you get to 3, you're probably better off finding a used Rift. I will say that.
Yeah.
I think there's also, if you don't have, I've heard some rumor on this one, and it might be true, I'm not 100% sure. If you don't even have a gaming computer, I think you can play on the Oculus Quest and like connect it to your computer and have it play that. Again, don't quote me on that.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I know that's at the very least in beta. Like the Steam link is at least in beta.
Yeah, like I've heard it's like a sort of option that might be doable, but if it is, that's amazing. That means like literally.
I wouldn't be too surprised if it's fully out there by the time Alyx is actually released, because remember, it just got announced.
Yeah,
and it's a VR game. It's a big VR game. It's gonna take a while.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big old VR game currently. And unfortunately, I missed the timing on it. Because the thing about the Index, to kind of move Index, is if you bought the Index, it would come with Alyx. As a kind of like, you get the pre-order for it already included with your thing. As somebody who owns a Vive already, one of the things I wanted to do was buy just the controllers, because the controllers, they look interesting and are, kind of innovative for what they are. Since it's a VR controller that you can actually let go, and it'll still be attached to your hand, but it enables you to effectively pick up things much more realistically, because of the way that you can it'll control how your individual finger movements. And I've heard from some people who have used it. It is very interesting, and it's recommended if you really want to try something like that out to actually get it. But that would be the cheapest way to get a piece of the Index and still get the pre-orders. And there's some extra cosmetic bonuses too that if you get it. But I'm not too worried about that. I still have my Vive. If really worse comes worse, I would buy just the game and then just play it because I can.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But still, I really hope this takes off. But the thing that worries me is the length of this game. VR isn't really known for having games that are very long to begin with, because VR itself is kind of in an awkward state of, it's still kind of clunky to move around in, so you don't know if you really should be wearing this for long periods of time. So VR tends to be more you play it in short bursts and then you get off and then you come back and play it again later.
Yeah, you're not gonna want to spend 8 hours in there.
Yeah, and that is the other thing too. Whether or not, do we really want something that would play that long, or do we really want something that would be better? I wonder how the pacing of that game is going to be then. Will they have more small hub levels that you can complete? And I can complete this level, then I'll take a break, and then I can complete this level afterwards. Or do you think they'll try to do a more continuous narrative, and maybe you'll just take breaks every now and then?
I don't know. I feel like you could just make a game, and people can take the breaks as they want.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it depends on how they're going to do, because this is going to set the framework for how a lot of the bigger VR titles should be paced.
Because
that's the big thing with this one, is it's going to be one of the first really big titles that are coming out for VR.
this
My
is like a first
experience really
AAA
watching
studio
VR
making
is Max playing through RE7. But it's not VR only. But
that's what I'm saying though, because the thing is this is going to be like a big AAA title that's effectively exclusively launched with VR in mind, as opposed to we just took a AAA game and now you can control it in VR.
Miles, have you ever played VR before?
nah.
I got to take it to Vito's lab sometime. It's awesome. It's like one of the few places you can play VR right next to someone else who also has VR. It's like 4 or 5 setups in a room.
Mm-hmm.
So you're playing and they're right next to you.
Yeah. I will say for anyone who's interested in VR, because I tried it out a little bit with family, Skyrim VR is a rough one.
I bet.
Because especially if you are daring and stupid as I am, and you decide I'm gonna do full motion instead of teleporting, and you're just going to want to fall over all the time. I managed to stay up and I didn't get sick, so I'm really happy about that. But that's more of a personal accomplishment than anything that the game tried to help me with. But yeah, no, it's like those are the sorts of things that I wonder about with Alex. Like, are they going to keep with, like I'm interested to see like what they want to do, like how they want to pace their game. Are they going to keep with like the standard teleportation, which honestly is kind of the way that things seem to be going right now, because it's easier for hold themselves down.
Say like one of the biggest problems still in VR games is locomotion. Like there is no good stationary movement system that lets you really get it without causing like motion sickness or something. So teleportation is one of the few ones, aside from like just using the straight up. Yeah, you can just use your thumbstick to move around, but it's so disorienting. People get dizzy or sick from it. I really wish there was like, because I know one of the interesting movement options was it the Omni, that kind of weird like stationary like weird strapped treadmill thing. Yeah. Which is, but the weird thing about do you know how the Omni actually works?
No. It's
effectively just you. How do I explain it? It's like you just like this, like it's effectively like a plastic pad that you just repeatedly slip on with like special shoes. So you're just slipping on it while being like in this weird ring thing over and over. And yes, it does have a lot of interesting, fun like VR applications, because it does still let you like you're moving, but you're just effectively slipping in place. So you are actually getting like interesting movement on it, and it's designed so it keeps you in there. But the problem is this thing is big. It's bulky, and if I recall, they just stopped selling it to consumers now. Like, I think the only way you can get it is if you're a, what is it?
Business? Like an actual...
like one of those, like, VR, like, because they now have, like, VR areas now that you can, like, go in and play some VR games for a few hours or something like that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say down by the boardwalk by me, there's, in the summertime at least, there's a VR sort of parlor where they just have a bunch of I think that they have a bunch of vibes set up that you just sort of walk in there, you pay them for an allotted amount of time, and you play until you can't anymore.
Yeah. I'm actually looking at the source to see maybe they've changed by now. It is cheaper than I remember it being. It looks like you can get the base for $100. The stand, like, this is still going to run you like half a thou minimum. From what I've seen, like if you want to put like actual stuff and they keep you from like they sell their own fucking shoes for $100. That's $99 for their special dumb low friction shoes. Hey, no, don't worry. They also sell overshoes, which you can put on top of your existing shoes, so you don't have to worry about buying a set that doesn't fit you.
Yeah.
Also $99.
Oh my god. Man.
As bizarre gimmicky as it is, it's still technically a working product, but it's still, again, it seems more like it's more for commercial application than it is like your own personal, like, how would I say it? It's like your own personal like VR locomotion option.
Mm-hmm.
I still like it conceptually because it means that it actually does something. Like, it's an option. But no one's in the right mind is going to just like no regular gamer setup is going to be this fucking thing strapped to their waist while they try to fucking play a game. I hope one of these days they can make something, I don't know, maybe like a mat or something that lets you like properly orient yourself as you walk around it. But I don't know, making it personalized omnidirectional treadmill it's not on the scopes yet. Let's just get the headsets working properly and people buying them, and we'll worry about the rest of the options later.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's probably going to have to use either teleporting or a lot of sets are probably going to be attached to small rooms, as my thought.
Could it ever be more simple? Kind of how the Switch has the Joy-Cons with the Ring Fit thing, where you can kind of see leg movement. Maybe something that goes straps on your legs can.
Well, the problem is you move forward, your body instinctively wants to actually walk forward.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I can sort of see what you're trying to do. Say we had a leg sensor, and then you do a walk in place.
Or you can lean or something. I don't know. I don't know.
Some games that I've played let you do that with your controllers. You would shake them up and down. So how you jog in place, you'd shake them up and down, and you'd move forward.
Mm-hmm.
I actually liked that. It worked for what it was, but it meant that you couldn't really move and shoot because you had to use your fucking controllers to jiggle move. Although I will admit, though, I want you to imagine a guy with a VR headset in his head. He's holding a controller out like a gun, trying to shoot something, but with the other one, he's furiously shaking it up and down in place while aiming it over the other one over. And just look at that guy doing it. He's gonna get me. He's gonna get me. But yeah, that's all in all. I don't really know how the direction of VR goes. I'm really hoping for the best for this, because if this turns out to be the game that gets people to VR, that's a good thing. But this is also another testing ground, because it is still Valve making another Half-Life game.
Yeah,
and that is something they haven't done in 12 years.
No matter what, they're putting their best foot forward. They have
to. They genuinely have to. The other thing this actually helps do, though, is it helps temper some of the Half-Life hype too, because it's a Half-Life game that's still set in the main timeline. All right, so we got something that will help build a little bit more towards the characters, because it's still using established characters from the second game. And we're getting a little bit more of that. I feel like this will help ease us into Half-Life 3 coming out, while also making sure that the hype for it isn't so blown out of proportion that we can actually expect a playable game. But I wonder if they're also doing this in a way of tempering us to see, or to gauge us to see how well a VR version would work for, say, Half-Life 3 being a VR game.
Yeah.
Would we buy Half-Life 3 if it was VR only?
So I also find this is interesting because all right, so I'm sure that there's a lot of people with VR, right? And a lot of people who own VR, and to be honest, myself included, are going to be looking at this game and going, I should probably buy this game because I already have VR and I might as well get this and see if it's a really good experience, right? Considering that everything pans out all right with the development of it. But then you also can have Half-Life fans who don't have VR and they go, well, I really want to see what it's about, and then spend money, and that can be a lot of money that goes into the VR sphere, that goes into the development of it.
Now the question
for helping everything to develop more because money.
But yeah, the question I thought about too is, I wonder if it'll be a parallel thing where you can choose to play it in VR for more interactivity, but you can still play it on a normal computer. Again, I'm talking about this perspective Half-Life 3 debatical thing, because that'd probably be the better option. You can do more if you have a VR set, but you can still play it normally otherwise. I don't know. Whether or not even Half-Life 3 will even be in the recent thing, or if this is our Half-Life quota for the decade, leave us alone.
Yeah, we'll see.
But yeah, we'll have that going. And on the related news of Valve and other things they're doing, we're getting VR, but we're losing the Steam controller. Because
that's totally okay.
Yeah, I guess that is the sacrifice that had to be made here, because the Steam controller has undergone its final production run and is now effectively being discontinued. And as a result, during this Thanksgiving, autumn, whatever sale you want to call it, they were on sale for $5 each. Well, I mean, plus tax and $8 shipping, but that's still under $15 for a what is normally retailed for $40 to $50 controller. Mm-hmm. So that is a great deal. Unfortunately, I think as of now, they are currently sold out.
I checked just a little bit ago because I was like, oh, maybe I'll pick one up, and no, they're gone.
Yeah, I heard about it, and I'm like, I have to buy it now because if I don't, I'm going to miss out.
Yeah, I bought one too, just to have it.
Because you can't not have it. It says out of stock right now. Order estimated delivery is 4 to 8 business days.
Although I'm sure if anyone really wants one, you'll find resellers selling them for like a 500% markup.
Probably not a 500% markup. They'll probably sell it in its current state because it's going to be flooded with them. They'll probably be sold a bit cheaper than the base controller price. You'll probably be able to pick one up for like $20-$30 because that helps, especially if they're mass volume ordering these. So yeah, you'll probably be able to still pick them up. But then after that, you're probably going to get closer back to retail price, and then eventually people are going to start scalping them for even more. But for now, though, this is a good opportunity.
Yeah, eBay $35.
Yeah, I would say though at this point, you're probably going to find something like that. It's still interesting for what it was, but it is Valve effectively retiring a project like they did with the Steam Link. But it does make me wonder if as they retire these, it means they're also getting their developers and staff to work on other things, like, for instance, this new Half-Life game.
Well, here's the thing with Steam Link. Steam Link is becoming something different. With the controller, it's just defunct. They're not working on any controller.
It's a hardware thing. The Steam Link became a bit weird because they're effectively we don't need a dedicated device anymore with it. We can just use people's existing smart devices. Yeah,
so Steam Link is still a thing. It's just more of the software rather than the hardware.
Yeah, but I'm going to say this though. Remember the Steam fucking machines?
Yeah, Steam machines.
Oh god, that's genuinely just gone.
Yeah.
The whole it's a Steam ready fucking
Steam ready?
Yeah, I know, because it used Steam OS.
Yeah. Oh, that's still funny to say Steam ready.
Yeah, so it's effectively like a Steam OS ready fucking pre-built computer.
Yeah.
And that was so confusing.
Get your Steam powered computer.
It was so confusing that no one fucking bought any. Because what was the point? To what market was this really?
I feel like people that might be quasi interested in it already have a computer that can run Steam.
That's the biggest problem. Everyone who would be interested already has a gaming computer.
And to be honest with you, choosing one, because that's the thing. If there wasn't a Steam machine, there were 10 companies making Steam machines.
Yeah,
and you're I don't even know. One is $500, and you're all right, I might just buy a computer.
But the other thing too that came down to my mind is also because the Steam OS is effectively a variant of Linux.
Yeah.
Which means even if you did have this, you couldn't even play all your games because a good number of them only run on Windows or maybe even Mac OS. So it's what did I just buy this for then?
Yeah.
I bought this machine that can play some of my Steam games.
The Steam Link on your phone turns out is a better thing than
honestly. It probably is. If you can forgive latency issues, it definitely is.
Yeah. I can play Slay the Spire on my phone if I want to. Whatever.
I got into Microsoft's project, weird stream project thing now, so I can technically play Microsoft Xbox games on my phone now.
Yeah, I think I got into that too. I should have been interested in trying.
I'm gonna bother one of these days when I somehow have both an Xbox controller and my phone, but not my computer. Just walk around with a rogue Xbox One controller. You'll never know. It'll be the day.
Oh my god!
Someday it'll happen. Beta ends.
All right, guys. I think it's time to wrap it up. Let's talk about future plans. Miles, do you have any videos in the pipeline?
So one thing I want to do around Pokemon is talk about the rival, because a bunch of people are going off he's the worst rival, but I feel like he's actually one of the best because he actually has a developing story arc and actual issues. He's not just some evil asshole.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do that. I think that'd be fun, this discussion video, because I want to do more of that kind of stuff.
Okay. And where can they find that?
YouTube.com/McDareth. I'm streaming. Something I didn't talk about is got sponsored for some Teppen streams. So I've been doing that. I've actually been enjoying Teppen, so we'll be doing that too.
Yeah, a lot of people are into that. A lot of people are feeling Teppen.
It's fun. It's the fast-paced nature of it is both a good thing and sometimes can be a bad thing when you're learning, because it's kind of hard when this card pops up on the screen. You gotta move quick. It's do I kill this one or not? You just gotta figure it out.
That's too much for me.
And besides that, there's events in Dragalia, and I'll be playing Pokemon Masters again because there's an event coming up in that from Mewtwo, so I'll be around.
All right, cool. Michael, where can they find you?
Google me what name, you'll find me.
All right, cool. Jeff, where can people find you?
Oh, you know where to not find me not doing anything. They can find me not streaming on Twitch at Twitch TV. SBG Fluba, not making any fucking tweets on Twitter.
I'll
just leave it there.
Just say where they can find you.
All right, so I got a lot of flack last time.
Not starting it up.
Got a lot of flack last time for being like, yeah, just Google my name.
Okay, yeah, and I googled it. I googled it and it works. Okay,
name.
no, you're good. You're good. I googled it and it works. So whatever.
I know I'm good.
No more
but
does not
Jeff
snuff.
every single week is just like, you can find me doing Jack all day long, every day.
Yeah,
I think we're already worn out after what you said. We just say whatever, Joe.
Just look into the void of space, and that's the most you'll be able to find of me.
So we said something about Michael's outro last time, and he's right. But Jeff, you gotta fix it.
Fine, but in all seriousness, if you really want to hit me up for a game, just go and find me on Steam. steamcommunity.com/ID/Fluba.
That's all you need. Yeah, for hitting.
I just like doing it every time because it's funny.
Well, stop.
Okay, fine. I'll stick with the Steam exit.
All right.
And I'm actually possibly gonna try streaming, so we'll see what happens. If I do, I'll say something, but otherwise, Steam.
All right. My Twitter is Being the Victor. I'm Being the Victor everywhere. I am working on a YouTube video, which is a cartoon series I'm doing. And I'm also working on some other projects that I will talk about later time. But that's going to do it for our podcast. Thanks for listening, and we are out of here.